This is probably the most popular barefoot boot on the market. And this is a pair of Timberland Radfords. A regular boot. So what on earth could these two have in common? Well, unfortunately, more than you think. Now, let's start with the positives. Absolutely waterproof. Water just gets off the surface right away. It doesn't even get wet, really. Same thing, absolutely waterproof. Water just flows right off. Does not even get wet. Light for a boot. Light for a boot. This actually feels lighter on my hand right now. I don't know how to explain it, but it just is what it is. Flexible sole. Not that flexible though, is it? And kind of flexible. Not as much, but it's not bad, you know. Just the parenthesis, this is the Radford, which is like the latest Timberland classic model. And it's basically the classic model without the insulation and with a more flexible sole. So it's lighter and doesn't get as hot. So back to the trackers. What is the issue with those? And what is the issue with VivoBarefoot? This is the issue. This is supposed to be a foot-shaped toe box. This is supposed to be wide. But it isn't that wide, is it? Because it's wide here, but then it just cuts straight in there. And that is an annoying feature, let's say, for people that have feet that are shaped like feet. Like actually, the outer three toes are, you know, kind of splayed out, kind of long, like a normal foot. Now, I'm not sure I can show you my foot, but I don't know. Can you see it from this angle? Just a regular foot, but it's not that strange. So the issue comes when Vivo says, which is the biggest barefoot shoe brand around, when it says that this is a wide toe box suitable for foot freedom, but it's not, because this is what a wide toe box looks like. This is a vapor glove. Look, it does not aggressively cut inwards on the outer side like this one does. So what happens because of that is that you have to size up, and maybe that's why they advise that this runs small. It does not run small, it runs narrow. And I suspect the same thing with all VivoBarefoot shoes. And that's a huge problem. Also the sizing, of course, it's off. This is size 45. It's supposed to be 28.5 centimeters. However, it's closer to 29, I would say. It's a bit long. My feet, longest toe, 27.5 centimeters, but I have 1.5 centimeters in the front of it if I just step on the insole. So this is 29. The size 44 is, I would say, 28.5, but again, because of the narrow outer side, my toes would bang on the leather, and this is hard leather. You have to understand, this is not exactly a barefoot boot, even though it's made by VivoBarefoot. But hold on to that thought. Let me just tell you, my toes could bang on the outside, and that is brutal. And I'm not even talking like downhill loaded with a backpack. I'm talking testing them in the house. So I had to go size bigger. Size bigger is actually half a size bigger, because if you like measure the insoles, there is a half centimeter difference. So it's basically a half centimeter half size. And that's an issue because the sizing is inaccurate. Same with Zero shoes. All those companies have inaccurate sizing. I don't know why, but even Nike does it. So it's not the company, it's just random. Some shoes are what they're supposed to be, some shoes are just not. And I don't know what to do about this. It's just pretty bad, actually. So my feet will float around in this because my feet are low volume. Of course, that's my fault, I guess. But if it wasn't for this toe box, I would be able to just go size smaller and it would fit great. So the previous thought and the similarity with the Timberlands. Now, the reason you buy a barefoot boot, hiking boot, most boots, even the regular ones, are pretty wide. Let me just show you. Now this regular hiking boot, that is not a narrow toe box. It's not as wide, but it's not narrow. It is not annoying. This used to be actually the most comfortable thing I used to put on my feet, and of course after barefoot shoes it's not as comfortable anymore, but still it's very comfortable, not that flexible, whatever. Of course a bit of arch support and all this stuff. This is what we try to avoid. That's why we buy barefoot boots. We also buy barefoot boots because we want it to be extremely flexible and supple, and you want it to feel good, and you want to be able to feel the ground, all this stuff. You don't want much support. The trackers though, plenty of support. This is not that, it's not that flexible, and I get it because it's supposed to be waterproof, so the leather has to be a bit thicker, but there is quite a bit of support here. This bottom here, it is basically barefoot, but it's hard, so you don't really feel that much, but you do feel enough. You do feel, I mean, like, whatever, it's a boot, it's supposed to be a bit better. And this sole pattern here, excellent traction on firm grounds like it's supposed to, but even if they're like like pine needles on the ground and stuff which are slippery, leaves, whatever, this will grip. Trust me, just got it. Just put it through massive hike. This is why I'm making this review. This is a good boot. It will go off-road. Of course, soft grounds, tread pattern here, the lugs are not that deep, so on soft grounds you will probably slip a bit. Also, massive issue here, no toe guard. This is very low. As you can see, the leather is exposed. It will get hit. And it wasn't really like a very rocky terrain. It was a bit of a soft terrain, but still you will have some scuffs here. This will eventually get worse and worse. The boot, like the poor boot, just gets damaged for no reason. Just put a higher toe guard. It's just simple, man. It's just simple. And yeah, of course they're waterproof. They do not get extremely hot even with the insole, even like hiking at like 25 degrees Celsius or something. They're fine for that. I mean, this is a good boot, but if your toes actually splay, you will have to size up. Otherwise, you're gonna hit the toe box. Ironically, which is supposed to be foot shaped and is supposed to be from the biggest barefoot company. But of course, I saw these comments many times that the Vivos generally they run narrow, like on this side of the toe box. I've seen it so many times. I think some models are actually wider. But yeah, they're not, like, it's so unfortunate, If this had wider toe box and a toe guard, it would be literally 2 times better than it is, which is crazy, right? It is the best looking barefoot boot around, of course, it is. This is modern, like I've had people complimenting that don't actually like barefoot shoes. Of course, it does have a bit of a duck toe box here because it's low. If it was a bit higher, a bit more well-rounded, it would look better, I think. So yeah, this looks amazing. Great traction on firm grounds and even on a bit looser ground. Not so sure about wet rocks and stuff. Nothing grips on wet rocks. This doesn't either. I mean, it's like whatever. Some soles do, but it's pretty rare. This is a hard sole, it's supposed to go on firm grounds, as the title says, so that's fine. And a bit rigid. This actually, like, it feels very similar to this when you're wearing it. Of course, this has a narrow toe box. Of course, it's stiffer. Of course, not the same. I'm not saying it's the same, obviously, but it kind of feels similar, and the sizing is also very similar. So I don't know what's up with that. I mean, no, not the numbers, the fit. That's what I mean by sizing, because that is a 43.5 boot and it fits like this one does, and that's a 45. So whatever, you know, companies and the sizing, you make like, it makes no sense. It's impossible to know what you have to wear. You just have to try everything, I guess. And yeah, again, this is what it looks like now. That is a good boot. It's not such a good barefoot boot. If you're gonna sell barefoot boots, you better have a wide, rounded toe box so all foot shapes can fit in there. Because my foot shape, and I'm like same for many other people, will not fit in here probably. We're gonna have to size up, and if we don't have high enough volume to keep the boot stable, our feet are gonna slip around. Heels, of course, like I had like rubbing on my heels. They do not bleed, thankfully, but it was so annoying. So whatever, good boots, but VivoBarefoot needs to fix this freaking toe box. Needs to put a guard in here. Make it softer if it's possible, but whatever. So the point stands. What is the point of a barefoot boot if it's not as flexible and you don't feel everything? So I don't know what to tell you. But these, maybe it's better that they're a bit tougher because they will take more punishment. But without the toe guard, eventually that's gonna get so worn down. I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, good boots. Good boots. I have to return them though, or sell them to a friend. But you know, it is what it is. Those are good. Toe box is bad. That's all for now. I will be reviewing Zero HFS. Zero sandals. The... what is it? I don't remember. Like the one with a thick sole and with the straps on the sides. Again, some weird designs there. I don't know what happened there. And incoming the trekking shoes from Zero and the Alpine. I'm gonna have to try the Alpine and just hope, I'm just praying that it's gonna fit properly. It's gonna be soft. It looks very soft. It looks softer than Trackers. I just hope it's gonna work out. So yeah, that's it for now. Stick around for more reviews, adventures, and a good time overall. See you.